Formal analysis of 4 artworks by Fra Angelico. In this presentation, I will be using the formal analysis technique to analyze the artworks: the Annunciation, Lamentation over the Dead Body of Christ, Coronation of the Virgin, and the Last Judgment. All of these paintings were created in the early Renaissance period and were completed around the late 1430s or early 1440s. The first painting that I will be analyzing is the Annunciation. Fra Angelico is a Catholic, which is displayed by his paintings, which are created from biblical scenes or events. In the Annunciation, he painted the moment when the angel Gabriel came down from the heavens to the earth to tell Mary that she would have a son who would be the child of God. The horizontal line showing the place where the wall meets the ground conveys a sense of balance and grounding, and this shows resting. The soft curve of Mary's back conveys her submission to the will of God, which Gabriel is telling her. This shows biblically that she would do anything he asked her to do and was a loyal follower, which is one of her critical characteristics. The pillar, which is forming a line between Mary and Gabriel, illustrates a division. It illustrates that heaven and earth are divided from one another. The vertical pillars show height and stretch upwards in the direction of the heavens. The arch between the walls also forms a slight point which points upwards. This conveys a sense of a higher presence in the painting. The curved line that forms the wing of the angel conveys a sense of peace and movement. This shows that this figure is one who will not hurt Mary, but rather is there as a peaceful and loving figure. Each color, as depicted on an angel, has different meaning. Yellow symbolizes wisdom, which is seen through the use of gold on the wing. Additionally, this creates a balance, as a similar hue is used in Gabriel's hair. This adds a balance within the angel and creates a sense of unity throughout the depiction of the individual person, which contrasts with the depiction of the rest of the painting. A large part of the painting is centered around slightly off-white colors and lighter hues. This creates unity in the piece as it significantly utilizes similar hues, shades, and tints. This piece is balanced around similar colors, which cause the remaining colors that are used to contrast with it. Additionally, the top part of Mary's dress is white. This has critical symbolic meaning. She is known as the Virgin Mary, and the white symbolizes her purity and innocence. Additionally, she was divinely chosen for this task, and the white symbolizes divinity, so this implements that she was chosen by the Holy Spirit into the painting. The clothing that Gabriel is wearing is pink. This creates a contrast within the painting, as this color has more intensity than soft and subtle usage of colors in the background. This soft color which evokes a feeling of safety. However, the dark red and small segment of his wing contrasts with the remaining colors in the painting. This contrast creates a unity within the archangel's depiction, as the dark red is a similar hue as the pink, however it's a much deeper shade. This contrasts with the rest of the painting, as mostly light colors are used that have opposite symbolic meaning as the color red. The dark blue of the cloak creates contrast in the piece. This creates a focus point of the painting and causes the viewer's gaze to be drawn towards her cloak and away from the off-white hues that encompass the majority of the painting. Historically, blue is associated with royalty in the Byzantine Empire, which is commonly used on Mary's cloak, as she is the queen of the heavens and the earth. This painting was created using a fresco medium. This medium consists of pigment mixed with water then being applied to plaster. This painting style is very difficult to work with due to the speed that's required to complete it. This leaves minimal room for error. Small details are also difficult to include due to the precision that is necessary for this style of painting. This painting style is also very durable and lasts a long time. The Annunciation portrays a soft gradient within the lighting of the painting. It's slightly lighter towards the inside of the painting and slightly darker around the edges of it. This adds focus to the inside of the painting. The angel occupies the positive space of the painting. This allows the viewer to see the angel as a main focus point. Mary is also in the positive space of the painting, which creates her as another focus point in the painting. The wall and rest of the room is present in the negative space of the painting, which creates a background that the figures in the positive space can stand out from. The shadows underneath the arches create a three-dimensional space, which adds separation between the positive and negative space. The form of the arches has a mostly semicircular line that creates depth to the painting by illustrating that the arches are three-dimensional. The organic shape of the figures of Mary and Gabriel creates an implied line that makes the figures distinct. The defined shape of the doorway and fence in the background creates stability, as they are harsh and distinct lines. This contrasts with the rest of the painting. The next painting that I will be analyzing is Lamentation over the Dead Body of Christ. For the religious context of the painting, after Jesus' crucifixion, he was taken down from the cross and then later buried. This painting shows when he was taken down and his followers were mourning his death. The line in the background which creates the wall provides a sense of stability. The harsh and confident line implements security. The vertical line extends upwards behind the figures that outline the cross. This shows height within the painting. The curve that outlines the shape of the bodies of the figures in the painting portray emotion. Most notably, the back of the woman at the feet of Jesus is curved. This curve follows down past her head. This conveys an emotion of mourning and sadness. Jesus' body is laying down horizontally. This creates a line which provides a sense of grounding and stability. Amongst all the curved and mournful figures, his is placed straight. This contrasts with him with the rest of the people in the painting and provides a sense of certainty to the uncertain emotions conveyed by the mourning followers. The dull colors used in the background of the painting create contrast with the brighter colors used in the foreground. This creates a focus point by making the background less significant. The repetition of the color blue across the clothing of multiple people creates a sense of unity and balance as the color can be seen multiple times, showing harmony. The green clothing, which is worn by the figure in front of Jesus, creates contrast as this is the only figure wearing green. This creates a secondary focus point and alludes to the significance of the person. There's also a yellow circle around the heads of the people. This creates unity as this shape and color are repeated throughout the entire painting. The repetition of color red across the clothing of multiple people creates a sense of unity and balance as the color can be seen multiple times, showing harmony. This painting was created using a fresco medium. This medium consists of pigment mixed with water then being applied to plaster. This painting style is very difficult to work with due to the speed that's required to complete it. This leaves minimal room for error. Small details are also difficult to include due to the precision that is necessary for this style of painting. This painting style is also very durable and lasts a long time. The lighting on the outside of the painting is darker, which creates a contrast and draws focus away from the edges. There is more light towards the center of the painting, which creates a light gradient. This guides the movement of the viewer's eyes and parallels the movement of focus. The body of Jesus is brighter than the rest and appears to have more light shown to it. This creates a central focus point and directly highlights the importance of the figure to the painting. There is also light coming from the heads of the apostles, signifying a halo. This light helps create additional, less significant points of focus. The receding line of the wall in the background creates a three-dimensional space within the painting. Additionally, the layering of the figures also has a similar effect. This makes the painting appear to have multiple layers and be three-dimensional. The figures in the foreground of the painting occupy a positive space. This emphasizes them as a point of focus. Although Jesus is the main point of focus, placing the remaining figures with him in the positive space shows unity. This also shows an overwhelming feeling and overwhelming emotions that are displayed throughout. The flat ground next to the wall occupies a negative space in the painting. This allows the other aspects to stand out. Additionally, the space works with the wall to exemplify the three-dimensional aspect of the painting. The three-dimensional form of the wall, as it is a rectangular prism, adds dimension and depth to the painting. The organic shapes of the people in the painting make up the foreground. This also makes up the focus points of the painting and creates outlines of the figures to differentiate them from one another. The circular shapes create unity. This is accomplished through the pattern that repeats across all the figures and ties them together. The three-dimensional form of the wall, as it is a rectangular prism, adds dimension and depth to the painting. The next painting that I'm going to be analyzing is Coronation of the Virgin. For some religious context, after Mary's death, she was taken both body and soul into heaven. She was then crowned Queen of all heaven and earth and Queen of all creation. Fra Angelico utilizes lines to create a focus point. The visible brushstrokes in different shades of yellow that move towards the inside in a circular pattern. This creates a focus point as the main figures in the painting are located at the center of the circle. There's also a shadow underneath the main focus points. However, separating from the shadow, there's a golden or yellow line. This line evokes a sense of stability as the ground is unbudging. There are also vertical lines which are used in the angels which are standing up watching the spectacle. This conveys a sense of height into the painting and add contrast with the horizontal line which the two figures in the focus are standing on. There's also an implied line present in the painting. Around the streaks that are directed towards the center of the painting, there's a lighter yellow semicircle. This shape implies peace and safety as it's a soft shape that surrounds all the figures in the painting. The gold used as background color is an element of consistency in the painting. This creates unity as this color is present constantly throughout. The white cloak that Mary is wearing creates contrast with the gold tone majority of the piece. This also adds to the focus point. The figures in the center are the focus point, but the white cloak makes her the major focus point between the two figures. The repetition of the colors red and blue amongst the cloaks of the people and the remaining figures. This creates balance and unity as these vibrant colors can be seen throughout the piece. The use of lighter colors that appear from behind Mary creates harmony and direction. It causes the viewer to focus initially on Mary and then move outwards, following the lighter colors into the darker ones. This painting was created using a fresco medium. This medium consists of pigment mixed with water then being applied to plaster. This painting style is very difficult to work with due to the speed that's required to complete it. This leaves minimal room for error. Small details are also difficult to include due to the precision that is necessary for this style of painting. This painting style is also very durable and lasts a long time. One of the most critical uses of light as seen in this painting is the light that's coming from behind Mary. This creates a focus point and allows the figure of Mary to contrast from the background. The expansion of light to the top part of the painting creates a feeling of harmony. This illustrates the spread of light behind Mary. This creates a sense of softness and comfort as it is a gradual change that visually expands on a critical use of light. The darker sections towards the bottom show the lack of light in those areas. This shows that the light is not reaching these areas. This also creates contrast with the rest of the painting and makes the sections that have light stand out even more. The gold shades occupy the negative space of the painting and create a background. The lightering of the people into the distance occupy a three-dimensional space and show the figures receding into the distance to reach the focus point. The people standing around the focus point occupy a positive space which creates a crowded feeling and signifies importance. Causing these figures to occupy positive space implies the significance of the moment that is being painted. The The focus point occupies a positive space. This is the most critical space in the painting as it highlights the focus and shows a pathway that recedes back into it. The triangular-shaped shadow underneath the focus point of the painting adds dimension. This accentuates the three-dimensional aspects of the painting. The dip forms in the ground also add a three-dimensional aspect to the painting. This causes the viewer to recognize the divots in the sand on which they are standing. The circular shapes around the heads of the people, which are halos, create both unity and division. All the figures have one. This creates a pattern and also a similarity between them, which adds unity. This also creates division by making a physical line that makes it easy to distinguish one head from another. The last painting that I'll be analyzing is The Last Judgment. For some religious context, at the end of the earth, God will come and judge everyone, determine whether they go to heaven or hell. The vertical lines of the angels that are floating in the sky create balance. This balances out the unique shape of the altarpiece and also balances out the horizontal components of this piece. The curved line beneath the feet of the angels acts as a division. This separates the angels and Mary from the people on the ground. The diagonal lines of the figures on the right suggest movement. This shows that the figures are moving, which evokes a feeling of instability and fear amongst them. The straight lines of the path leading to the horizon imply continuation beyond what's depicted in the piece. The straight lines which outline the figures on the left half of the painting contrast with the lines showing movement on the right side. This shows that the left side feels at peace and is calm, which is contrasting with the other side. The white under the feet of the angels creates a division. This shows the extreme difference between those in heaven and those on earth at the moment which is being depicted by the painting. The red and yellow ring around Mary creates a division between her and the rest of the painting. This creates a focus point and suggests that her image is a critical aspect in this piece. Darker shades and colors worn by the people on the right, as well as more shadows on this side, evoke an emotion of distress and uncertainty. This also contrasts with the rest of the painting, where relatively light colors are used. Contrary to the right side, on the left there are lighter tints of colors used on the clothing of the figures. This evokes a feeling of peace and certainty, which contrasts with the emotion evoked by the right side. The light blue sky in the background of the painting evokes a feeling of harmony. Blue is a soothing color, which suggests a peaceful atmosphere. This painting was created using a fresco medium. This medium consists of pigment mixed with water then being applied to plaster. This painting style is very difficult to work with due to the speed that's required to complete it. This leaves minimal room for error. Small details are also difficult to include due to the precision that is necessary for this style of painting. This painting style is also very durable and lasts a long time. There's light protruding from the feet of the angels. This creates a visible linear division from the heavens and the earth. On the right side, there's a lack of light, which produces more shadows. This evokes a darker emotion, a feeling of distress and uncertainty. However, on the left side, there's more light, meaning fewer shadows. This creates a more clear image and a feeling of clarity and peace. There's also light coming from behind the horizon line. This implies continuation, suggests that this painting is only displaying a very small portion of the whole event. Sky occupies negative space in this painting. This creates a background and provides more emphasis to the focus point. The people in the foreground are in the positive space of the painting. This illustrates critical events that the painter is trying to depict in this piece. This creates a secondary focus point in the painting. The receding pathway into the horizon creates a three-dimensional space in the piece. Additionally, the layering of people in the positive space of the painting adds to the three-dimensional space. This accentuates the three-dimensional aspect of the painting and how people are placed behind one another. Mary and the angels occupy positive space in the painting. This also depicts them as the main focus point in the piece. Circular shape surrounding Mary emphasizes the central focus point of the painting. This shape distinguishes her from everyone else and implements her as the main focus point. The rectangular form which recedes into the background of the piece creates a three-dimensional aspect. This form adds to the depth of the painting. The semicircular shape underneath the feet of the angels creates a division between them and the people on the earth. This distinctly separates heaven and earth by dividing them. Thank you. These are my citations.